Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and to another video. It's been a little while since I've filmed anything, but I'm really excited to be back, and I am here with my September TBR. We are now heading into September. It's the last week of August coming up, so I can't believe that we are in September already. I'm already feeling the autumn vibes. I am currently wearing a Hocus Pocus jumper and I'm so excited for September. So my reading plans for September are initially going to be focused on one main readathon that I'm going to be taking part in through the whole month of September. I also just wanted to mention a massive thank you. By the time that this goes up, the Magical Kingdom readathon will be over, and I just want to say a massive thank you to my co-hosts, everybody that's taking part in the readathon, and I really hope that you all had an amazing time. I don't know also who the winners are yet, but that will be announced very soon. But I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that's taking part in the readathon, and I hope to do it again next year and make it bigger and better. And I just love all you guys and all your support. It really means the world to me. My anxiety the past few months has definitely been giving me some problems, but I am wiping the slate clean and I'm just really excited to be back doing some YouTube. So yeah, without further ado, let's crack on with my September TBR. Okay guys, so before I chat about the readathon that I'm taking part in, I wanted to mention a buddy read that I am doing with Steph on her Patreon, and we are going to be tackling a very intimidating series that I wanted to try for a long time. I love the movies in this world, but I've never actually read the books, so I am a little bit nervous, but I am going to try the new audiobooks that have come out recently for it. But for the month of September and October, we will be reading The Lord of the Rings by J.R. Tolkien. Yeah, I have a bind up with all three books in it, so we are just going to be focusing on The Fellowship of the Ring, which is the first book, and it ends. I've actually sectioned off the pages. This is all The Fellowship of the Ring. So yeah, if you've never ever heard of Lord of the Rings, where have you been? It basically follows Frodo, who's a hobbit, and there's a magical ring, and him and eight other like magical creatures, Gandalf the wizard, Legolas the elf, all those kind of characters, they have to journey through to the land of Mordor to destroy the ring and basically save the world. And I do adore the movies. I absolutely love the movies, but I've never ever read the books. I don't know how different they'll be, but it'll be an interesting experience. But I'm going to be trying the new audiobooks that Andy Serkis, who was in the Lord of the Ring movies, who played Gollum, he's done the audiobooks for them, and I've got them on Audible all ready to go. So I am a little bit nervous, but I am really excited, and we're going to be focusing on the Fellowship of the Ring in September and October, and then November and December we will move on to the Two Towers, and then for January and February we will be finishing off with the Return of the King. I think we will be watching the movies as well. I'm not sure when that's going to happen, but I am really excited. No, it was Fellowship of the Ring was August and September, so I'm going to read this in September, and then October and November will be the Two Towers, and then December and January will be Return of the King. So honestly, I'm getting all my months mixed up. It just blends into one for me. But yep, I am really excited for this one. Okay guys, so the main readathon that I'm going to be taking part in the month of September has been created by the lovely Beatrice and Beatrice's Book Nook. I will leave her channel and links down below. This is her brand new readathon that she's been spending a lot of time working on and creating, and she's got amazing co-hosts. It's a competitive based readathon, and it is the Goddess Complex Readathon. I am part of Team Aphrodite. There are 4 teams. So Team Aphrodite, I've chosen to be part of their team, and our lovely co-hosts are Vanessa from Reading with Dr. B and Brie from the Booktrovert. So I will leave both of those lovely ladies' links in the box down below. But essentially, we can read whatever we want in this readathon, but we will get extra points if the book has some kind of mythology. So any kind of mythology, Greek, Norse, Chinese, any kind of mythology, you can count for it. So we do have quite a big list of points prompts with a certain degree of difficulty from 50 to 150 points. We can't double up in each difficulty. We can double up having one 50-point prompt, 100-point prompt and 150 prompt, if you get what I mean. I will leave obviously Beatrice's announcement video down below where she explains all the rules and how all that works. And then we also have team specific prompts which have multipliers, and that will help multiply the points that we get for our team, which is really exciting. So I will go through those prompts specifically. So I've got a pile of possibilities that I would love to get to in the month of September. So without further ado, let's just crack on with my September TBR. Okay guys, so I'm going to go through our team specific prompts for Team Aphrodite. I'll pop a graphic up here on the screen, but we have 5 prompts, and each of them has a different points multiplier. So if we complete that prompt, we'll be able to get be able to multiply our points for our team, which is really exciting. So to begin with, our first prompt is the mirror prompt, and that is to read a book with a beautiful cover. Prompt number 2 is Myrtle, and that is to read a book with a book that has vegetation on the cover. I've checked with Beatrice, and this can be flowers on the cover, plants, anything that grows from the ground. She explained it to me. So like forests, trees, anything that grows from the ground. So like flowers, anything like that, we can count for that prompt. Next up, we have the rose prompt, and that is to read a book that has more than one love interest. Prompt number 4 is a scallop shell, and that is to read a book with water on the cover. And finally, our final prompt is a dove prompt, and that is to read a book with a wedding or a ceremony. So that is all of our team prompts. So I think most of the books I've picked can cover all those kind of prompts, which is good news. So I'm going to go through them individually, and I won't give a full synopsis for each of the books because I'll be here all day. So the first book that I'm really keen to get to is one of actually Laura from the Book Hermit's favourites, and I know Beatrice has read this as well and she absolutely adores this book, and that is Call of the Sea by Emily B. Rose. I'm going to be reading this on Kindle Unlimited. It's currently on Kindle Unlimited, but this is basically a Little Mermaid retelling. I've got the synopsis on Amazon. It's a gender-bent Little Mermaid retelling meets Brave in this debut new adult fantasy romance about a human princess who dreams of a life of adventure on the ocean, perfect for fans of Karen Maniscalco and Legend Latte. So that ticks all my boxes. So I love anything kind of Brave related. That's one of my favourite movies, and it does have water on the cover, so I would be able to use it for that prompt. I forgot to mention actually there is a list of host favourites as well. So each of the co-hosts has a couple of books that we can read that will get us extra points. So I've decided to go for one of Beatrice's host favourites, and that is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett Sinclair. This has been on my radar for a while. It's a Hades and Persephone retelling, so I'll be able to get extra points for it being mythology, but I don't want to know too much about it, but I'm assuming it's a dark romance between Hades and Persephone, so that's kind of the main reason I want to pick it up. But I have heard some really good things, and I know the series is quite a long series, but I am really excited to give it a try and hopefully I like it. A book that's recently made it to my shelves that I will be able to use for the Rose prompt, which is to read a book that has more than one love interest. It came in a romantasy box, fairly recently, but I have actually cancelled that subscription because I wasn't enjoying the books I was reading, but I was quite keen on this one, and obviously I cancelled it before I realised that this was going to be in the romantasy box, so I got it on Vinted. But I am really excited for this one, and it is Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen, and this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. And it's basically 4 handsome fae princes, 1 awkward bookworm, an enchanted veil, a beastly curse to break. And it's basically 4 different love interests of fae princes that they're all cursed, and they think that our main character, who is called Rosalind, is able to break their curses, and it's kind of like a fated mate kind of thing, and it turns out that she could be mates with all 4 of these guys, so that'll be quite a fun time. And it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I am really excited, and it's got roses all over the cover, and it's just absolutely beautiful, so I am really excited for this one. Next up is a book that I got in the August adult fairy loot box, and I am so excited for this book. When I read the synopsis, I was just like, I need to read this book as soon as possible. This definitely, I'm hoping, will be a 5-star, and a 5-star read is one of the main prompts for the readathon. But the book is Long Live Evil by Sarah Rees Brennan, and I love this cover so much with the red foiling. It's absolutely gorgeous. very pretty, and it's basically a villain story, a story for anyone who's ever fallen for the villain. So our main character, Ray, she basically ends up in her favourite fantasy novel, but when she wakes up she realises she's not the heroine, she's actually woken up as the villain character, and it's she ends up getting a band of villains together to help them change like their fates, and basically expect a rogue gallery of villains, including an axe-wielding maid, a shining knight with dark moods, a homicidal bodyguard, and a playboy spy master with a golden heart and a filthy reputation. So it sounds so much fun, and I'm just obsessed with this cover. I think it'll be perfect for September, kind of like cozy fantasy kind of vibes, but I'm assuming that there will be a romance in here, but I am so excited for this. It looks so much fun. Next up, I thought I would try and switch up the genres a little bit and try and get a bit more some thrillers on here, some more contemporary romance rather than just reading fantasy, but this one has been on my radar for a while, and I know that Barb from Barb's Bookland, this is one of her favourites, and it is Still House Lake by Rachel Kane. This is a thriller, and we're basically following our main character, Gina. She's a housewife with a happy marriage and 2 adorable children, but when a car accident reveals her husband's secret life as a serial killer, she must remake herself as Gwen Proctor, the ultimate warrior mum. With her ex now in prison, Gwen has finally found refuge in a new home on remote Stillhouse Lake. Though still the target of stalkers and internet trolls who think she has something to do with her husband's crimes, Gwen dares to think her kids can finally grow up in peace. But just when she's starting to feel at ease in her new identity, a body turns up in the lake, and threatening letters start arriving from an all too familiar address. Gwen Proctor must keep friends and close and enemies at bay to avoid being exposed, or watch her kids fall victim to a killer who takes pleasure in tormenting her. One thing is certain, she learned to fight evil and she'll never ever stop. So it sounds really good, really intense, and I've heard really good things about it from Barbara. I know this is one of her favourite ones, so I'm really keen to try and fit this one in, but I am really excited. Next up, I got this in the August YA Fairy Loot, and I thought that this came in perfect timing for this readathon because this is inspired by Asian mythology, and it is The Girl with No Reflection by Keshi Chow. Apologies if I've said that wrong, but this cover is just stunning. It's absolutely beautiful with the koi fish on there. It's absolutely beautiful. And I love the fact that it's actually got a mirror on the cover, so I thought it would be quite a funny prompt to do for a book with a beautiful cover, the mirror prompt. So I'm really interested in this one, and yep, I think it is inspired by Asian mythology. And we follow Princess Ying, who believed in love once, yet when she's chosen to wed the prince, Ying dreams of a fairy tale marriage fall apart. Her husband-to-be is cold and indifferent, confining Ying to her room for reasons he won't explain, and whispers swirl around 7 other brides who mysteriously disappeared after their own weddings. And so she basically gets drawn into this other dimension inside the mirror in her bedroom, and I think that there's a prince in this like other dimensional world, and she ends up falling in love with him. So that would count for a love interest, maybe in that book with more than one love interest maybe. But I am really excited to get this one, and this cover is just absolutely stunning. Okay guys, so next up is a book that hasn't quite come out yet. It's coming out on the 17th of September, but the book is Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. I've heard of this book actually from Jodie from Vanilla Moon, but I think she had read it when it was just indie published, but it's now been picked up by a publisher, which is amazing for the author. But the cover, the UK cover, I'm absolutely obsessed with. It's so gorgeous. And in this, it's a fantasy romance, I believe, about an exiled princess who teams up with the last man she thought she could trust in the start of an immersively debut fantasy series filled with sizzling, reluctant allies to lovers romance, a world to get lost in, dangerous quests and dragon bonds. So that just gets me so excited. I love fantasies that have got dragons in them, and yeah, I'm just so excited. This cover is just absolutely gorgeous. It's so pretty. Okay guys, so next up is actually a book that will be a reread for me, but it is also another host favourite and also the September pick for the Sibs book club, which is also Beatrice's book club that she runs, that she does along with Laura from the Book Hermit and also Donna as well. But the book is Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. I will get extra points for it being Greek mythology and also a host favourite, but this is a reread for me. I really love Jennifer Saint's Greek myth retellings, and she mainly writes Greek myth retellings that focus from a female perspective. So Ariadne Ariadne is the princess of Crete who grows up greeting the dawn from her beautiful dancing floor and listening to her nursemaid stories of gods and heroes. But beneath her golden palace echo the ever-present hoofbeats of her brother the Minotaur, a monster who demands blood sacrifice. When Theseus, the prince of Athens, arrives to vanquish the beast, Ariadne sees in his green eyes not a threat but an escape. Defying the gods, betraying her family and country, and risking everything for love, Ariadne helps Theseus kill the Minotaur. But will Ariadne's decision ensure her happy ending? And what of her beloved younger sister she leaves behind? Hypnotic, propulsive and utterly transporting, Jennifer Saint's Ariadne forges a new epic one that puts the forgotten women of Greek mythology back at the heart of the story as they strive for a better world. So it's honestly, it's amazing, and I can't wait to do a read of it. I'm going to try and get the audiobook or even Kindle and read it on Kindle. I do have a physical copy, but it's like right up at the top of my shelf that I can't get to, so I will just either listen to an audiobook or do it on Kindle, but I'm really excited to do a reread for this one. Next up is another mythology retelling, and I am really excited for this one because this one is Indian-based mythology. I've never read any Indian-based mythology before, but this was in a Illumicrate box fairly recently, and this one is Goddess of the River by, now apologies for my pronunciation, Vaishnavi Patel. I do apologise for that pronunciation, but do tell me in the comments down below how to pronounce it, but apologies for the glare. But this cover is just stunning. It's actually I got this from Vinted, and the person put like a plastic covering over it, which is really nice, but it's got the most amazing sprayed edges and the most stunning end papers I think I have ever seen. Like, the art in this is just stunning, absolutely stunning. So this one follows actually a mother character, I believe, a mother and a son, a goddess and a prince, a curse and an oath, a river whose course will change the fate of the world. A powerful reimagining of the story of Ganga. I don't know how you pronounce that. I might have to get an audiobook for this one. Goddess of the River, her doomed mortal son, from Vaishnavi Patel, author of the instant New York Times bestseller Kaike. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce any of that, but it sounds amazing, and I will be able to use this for a book with water on the cover as well for Team Aphrodite, but this edition is just absolutely gorgeous. I'm really excited for this one. I love books with mother kind of figure main characters in books, so I really am looking forward to this one. Sorry guys, my camera died, so if I look anything looks a bit different, I had to go and charge my camera. But I also wanted to mention another Greek myth retelling that I am really keen to get to. It's been on my TBR for a while, but it is Lies We Sing to the Sea by Sarah Underwood. This has been on my TBR for a while, and we basically follow, Sarah Underwood weaves an epic tapestry of lies, love and tragedy, perfect for fans of Madeline Miller, Alexandra Bracken and Renee Adier. So basically we follow each spring, Ithaca condemns 12 maidens to the noose. This is the price vengeful Poseidon demands for the lives of Queen Penelope's 12 maids, hanged and cast into the depths centuries ago. But when that fate comes for Leto, death is not what she thought it would be. Instead, she wakes on a mysterious island and meets a girl with green eyes and the power to command the sea. A girl named Melantho, who says one more death can stop 1,000. The Prince of Ithaca must die, or the tides of the fate will drown them all. So it sounds really good. So I haven't tried Sarah Underwood previously, so if it's anything like Jennifer City Madeline Miller, it's definitely going to be hopefully up my street. So I'll get extra points for the book being mythology based. So yeah, I am really excited for that one too. Next up is a book that I am really keen to get to since I got it in the July adult fairy loot box, I think. Yeah, I think it was the adult. And this is another Asian mythology inspired, so I will get extra points for it being mythology. But it is The Night Ends With Fire. Yeah, The Night Ends With Fire by KX Song. And this cover is just so beautiful. I love it so much. So we have another dragon-based book, and this is basically a Mulan retelling, I think, when I read the synopsis, and it's just stunning. So yeah, this is basically a Mulan retelling, and Mulan's one of my favourite Disney movies. I absolutely love it. So an epic fantasy retelling of Mulan, perfect for fans of the Poppy War and Six Crimson Cranes, and I love both those books, so this is definitely up my street. So the three kingdoms are at war, but Mei Ling's father refuses to answer the imperial draft. Trapped by his opium addiction, he plans to sell Mei Ling for her dowry instead, but when she discovers her husband-to-be is violent and ill-tempered, she decides to take matters into her own hands. The very next day, she disguises herself as a boy and enlists in her father's place. In the army, Mei Ling's hard work brings her recognition, friendship, and a growing closeness with Sky, a prince turned training partner. But as her kingdom barrels towards destruction, Mei Ling must decide who to trust: Sky, who inspires her loyalty and love, a sea dragon spirit with the power to grant her impossible magic, or an infuriating enemy prince who makes her question everything she once knew about her kingdom, her loyalty, and her own heart. So it does sound really up my street, and it could be more than one love interest, I'm not sure, potentially, so I could do for that prompt as well. But yeah, I think all these books will cover all prompt bases, but this one I'm really keen to get to, and I'm just obsessed with this video edition. It is absolutely stunning. Next up, a book that I've had on my shelves for a while and I haven't managed to get to it, and I'm desperate to read it, and that one is Forged by Blood by Ehibor Okusin, and this one is inspired by Nigerian mythology, so I'll get extra points for it being a mythology book. It was brilliant new debut author Ehibor Okusin's first book in an action-packed, poignant duology inspired by Nigerian mythology, full of magic and emotion and set in a highly atmospheric, complex world in which a young woman fights to survive a tyrannical society, having everything stripped away from her, and seeks vengeance for her mother's murder and the spilled blood of her people. So it sounds really, really good, and I'm really, really excited to give this one a try. Another book that I have been meaning to get to ever since I got it is Evocation by S.C. Gibson. I still have not read this yet. It's been on so many TBRs, but I am really desperate to try and read this one. I don't know, I can't remember much of the synopsis, but I think our main character's family has a curse on it and he has to get back in contact with his ex-boyfriend, and he ends up getting back in with his ex-boyfriend and meeting his new wife, and I'm not sure if it's a love triangle potentially, I'm not sure, but there's magic and it's like set in like Boston, I believe, and there's like secret societies, and I loved S.C. Gibson's other book, which was A Dowry of Blood. I've also got an Education Malice that I still need to read, so I would like to try and get to that in September as well. But yeah, I am really desperate to read this one, so I'm going to make it a priority to get to it in September. Another two books that I'm going to mention in this little section here, I am planning to do this as part of a buddy read from Emma from Observing Emma. I'll leave her channel link down below. I suggested that we could do a buddy read of reading because Emma's also from Scotland like myself, and I thought it would be quite fun to do some books with romances that are set in Scotland. So I am really keen to get to these, both of these. We were planning to do it in August, but I ended up having to push it back to September, but Emma was absolutely fine with it. She's an absolute angel and I absolutely love her channel. Please go and subscribe to her, she's absolutely lovely. So the books that we have decided to go for are Beyond the Thistles by Samantha Young. This is a contemporary romance that follows our main character, Walker Ironside. He left Scotland and the memories that haunt him. Yet, after years of travelling the world as a bodyguard, Walker misses his homeland enough to return to a village in the Scottish Highlands that plays host to an exclusive members-only club, Arnock Estate. If not happy, Walker is content working with the elite security at the club and maintaining his bachelor lifestyle. What he doesn't need is distraction in the form of an enticing but too young newcomer single mother, Sloane Harrow. So yeah, it's basically a single mum bodyguard romance, and I think that she's got quite a dangerous past. I think her ex is like trying to come after her, and she's got a young daughter as well. And yeah, I think obviously Walker just gets involved with her, and I'm assuming that there's a romance that happens between them, and it sounds really, really good. And the other book that we are both planning to buddy read is Kilt Trip by Alexander Kiley. I've seen this around a lot and it does look a lot of fun. So it basically follows Globetrotter Addie McRae always follows her wanderlust. As a travel consultant, she jet sets around the world anywhere but Scotland. But when she's sent on assignment to help a struggling family-run tour company in the Highlands and save her own job, Addie packs away her emotional baggage and turns on the professional charm. Rugged as the land he loves, Logan Sutherland's greatest joy is sharing the beauty of Scotland's hidden gems, even if it means a wee bit of red ink on the company's bottom line. The last thing Logan wants is some American expert pushing tourist traps and perpetuating myths about the Loch Ness Monster, especially when Addie never leaves her desk to experience the country for herself. So it does sound really, really good. But Addie's contract is almost like a magic won't pay the bills. They can't afford distractions, but how can Addie do her job if she hasn't explored all of Scotland and Logan have to offer? So it does sound really fun. So both of those books I'm really keen to get to in the month of September, and I will hopefully do a separate reading vlog for both of those. I think Emma's going to do one as well, a reading vlog with both of the books too. But yeah, I'm really excited to get to both of those books. Okay guys, another possibility, excuse me, another possibility that I want to put on my TBR is The Darkness Within Us by Trisha Levenseller. This is the second book in this duology, but I think Trisha Levenseller said that you can read this as a standalone, you don't have to have read the first book, but we basically follow the sister of the first, of the main character from the first book, so this is her sister I think, and she's basically Chrysantha Stardust has won. She's basically married to this really old rich guy, and he's pretty much on death's door, and she basically wants to get all his money. But then there's this guy that turns up that claims to be her husband's grandson, and he's come to claim the money that he thinks he's entitled to. And she's like, no, absolutely not. I've worked too hard. I've married to this really horrible man for years and years, and you're not getting the money. So I'm assuming that there's a romance, enemies to lovers that happens between them, and it does sound a lot of fun, so I'm really keen to get to this one as well. Okay guys, so next up is something that I actually got gifted very, very recently for my birthday from the lovely Lorraine, so thank you Lorraine for gifting this to me. But I have been wanting to give this series a try for a while, and Lorraine gifted me The Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole, and this is the first book in the Gods and Monsters series. It's enemies to lovers, I believe, I think Lorraine said when she pitched it to me. But where there are gods, there are also monsters, so we're following the main character Diana, and she's made a deal with Caden, who's a monster. Locked in servitude to him, she's forced to hunt down an ancient relic held by her most dangerous enemies, an army led by Samkel, the World Ender. So I'm assuming it's enemies to lovers, romance. With every world at stake, Diana and Samkel are forced to set aside their animosity and work together before all is lost. So it is a chunky one, but I've heard really good things about it, and thank you Lorraine for giving this to me. I really, really appreciate it, and I do love this cover. It's absolutely beautiful. It definitely gives me like Kingdom of the Wicked vibes from the cover, but yeah, I'm really, really, really excited. Okay guys, I also wanted to mention I am also hopefully going to bring back the series that I did of reading books recommended to me by other booktubers, and I think this one and Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Dallin is going to make it onto that video. But the other book I wanted to mention is XOXO by Axio. This is a contemporary romance that follows K-pop singer, K-pop performer, and yeah, I just think it's going to be really cute. XOXO is a new romance that proves chasing your dreams doesn't have to be sacrificing your heart, from acclaimed author Axio. So I've read The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axio, and I really liked it. So this is my first time trying her contemporary romances, and this is the really cute fairy edition that I got from Vinted, and it's absolutely adorable. And the knit hardback matches the cover, and it just looks so cute. So yeah, I am gonna give this a try. Hopefully it should be a quick read, but I'm really, really excited to give this one a try. Okay guys, we're almost there with this TBR. Another book that I have been meaning to get to since I got it is The God and the Gumiho by Sophie Kim. This was another fairy book that I got fairly recently. I will get extra points for it being mythology. It's Asian inspired mythology, and this edition is absolutely gorgeous. So in this we're basically following our main character Kim. The once terrible Gumiho, known as the Scarlet Fox, spends her days working in a cafe and trying not to let a certain customer irk her. Sioga, a trickster god exiled from the heavens, spends his days hunting demons, pining for his lost home, and urging a particular Gumiho. When a demon of darkness escapes the underworld and the Scarlet Fox emerges from hiding before quickly vanishing, Sioga is offered a chance at redemption to kill them both and his sins will be forgiven. But Hannah is prepared to do anything to prevent Sioga from bringing her to justice, anything that is except falling in love. So it sounds really good, enemies to lovers. I've never read anything like a Gumiho kind of thing before, but I am really excited, and this cover is just absolutely stunning. Okay guys, and the final book that I want to put on my September TBR is another Illumicrate special edition that I got from Vinted, and this plot just sounds so up my street. It's very cosy fantasy, and it is The Phoenix Keeper by S.A. McLean, and this edition is just so stunning. Like, look, it looks so cute. And these end papers are just some of the cutest end papers I've ever seen. So I think this is queer as well, sapphic, I believe. So we basically follow our main character, Aaliyah, a childhood dream of conserving critically endangered firebirds. Against an epic fantasy backdrop teeming with all your favourite mythical beasts from dragons and unicorns to kelpies and krakens, The Phoenix Keeper combines the cosy fantasy stakes of T.G. Clune and Travis Baldry with the heartwarming contemporary romance of Alice Oseman and Casey McListon. So it just sounds really up my street. Falling in love never burns so bright. And yeah, I think it's sapphic. I think our main character could be bisexual. I'm not sure. Obviously, I'll find out when I read it. But I am really excited for this one. And this edition is just absolutely gorgeous. And also guys, I wanted to mention in this video that I am planning to host another read-along following the success of Chestnut Springs Along. So I am really excited to announce that I'm going to be hosting a read-along for the A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J Maas, and the lovely Laura from the Book Hermit and Amanda from Black Lotus Books will be joining me as co-hosts on the read-along. So we will kick off in September with reading A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is like my all-time favourite series. It's a reread for me. Amanda has never read the series, so this will be quite fun for her to read, and I think Laura has read the series as well, but she wanted to come on and be a co-host for me when I asked her, so I really appreciate that. So September we will do Akhtar. October we will move on to A Court of Mist and Theory, which is one of my all-time favourite books. Love it so much. In November we will move on to A Court of Wings and Ruin, the third book, and complete out the main trilogy. In December we will be reading A Court of Frost and Starlight, which is I think is perfect for winter time, Christmas time. And finally in January we will wrap up with A Court of Silver Flames, which is currently my all-time favourite book. It's so good. I'm so excited. I haven't decided when to do the live shows, but I think it will be roughly the first week of the following month. So from Court of Thorns and Roses, the live show will hopefully be the first week in October. Probably the first Saturday in October. I will have to chat with the girls, but I am really excited to kick off this read-along. So if you are interested in joining us along for the read-along, I will set up a Discord, I think, and I will pop the link to that in the box down below. And if you're interested in taking part, if you want to read the series with us or read it for the first time, I would really appreciate if you came and joined us on the read-along, and I'm really excited. Okay guys, so that is my complete September TBR. I know it's quite a lot. I'm not going to pressure myself to get to everything, but I think I've got quite a good mix of books for the Goddess Complex Readathon that I'll be able to cover most of the prompts with all these books. But I just want to say massive thank you to Beatrice for creating this readathon, and I'm so excited and proud of her. I'm hoping it goes really well, and hopefully everyone will have such a great time. But let me know your reading plans for September, if you're doing any readathons, if you've got what you are planning to read for autumn time. It's obviously autumn now. What are your favourite things to read in autumn? Let me know. If you liked the video, if you enjoyed it, give me a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I'll see you all in my next video very soon. Bye guys!